Coming into the draconian lines, interference channeling, rotation centers, and communication cycles. It's all in position locations. Before we get started, Mexico is very cold. Definitely in winter. Definitely winter wonderland here. So I'm finally getting my compute center, line center, rotation position locations. So imagine the mind trying to sleep but doesn't know how. Trying to sleep but doesn't know how. Switching this, switching that. When you go faster in space, the mind just basically goes off on its own. So it centers its position locations and everything to that connection. So coming into the Dracons and the Draconians and the Drakios, as all position of view through calculation modification lines center. High lines its system rotations to its Babylon. Communications inner surface activate to its core line conditions. So there's a lot that's going on right now. We're going to travel to dimensional locked surface, inner line center rotation connections. We're going to go through times pi. Now, times pi equals 8 central sun, communications, 8 central systems, 8 central communication cycles, and everything through your teleportation wires is going to connect to a high force line center. I drew a structural line conditions of intelligence. When you see it, it's very powerful. Okay. It's on the opposite side line center rotation position of a planet line conditions of the Drakians and higher rotations. Understand the history and its ancestry is very powerful when you come to that position locations. So this is Dracon. Okay, we're going to see this through rotations and calculation modifications. When you see this, it's very powerful. You see that through connections. It's amazing how you draw things through perception. All right, it identifies everything connection. Dimension, forming positions, framing line center, vector to velocity line center. Take alliance to equal line center position locations, box line center locations, 3 weather patterns, and 2 slash, a new galaxy lock line interference. Now, it's in his program. The countdown is coming in communications. So you're just going to see the structures and positions. We're going to get into your questions and your reviews on anything you need to know on what's happening with you through calculations. So when you see this, you see it through a track system. All right, you see that? Dracon. This is a Dracon. All right. Now you can understand the fish. See the fish? See the right hemisphere, left hemisphere line center. It's the 8 circles line center rotation conditions. This is a Dracon communication. So it's in the other side solar system and all position locations. It's a map sequence of the constellation path, the communication all level framing positions, dimensional to its forming, to its vector line center, to its velocity and inference, and position of alliance. Okay, so it's very powerful how we connect through all levels and what this is, the calculations. It's very powerful how we connect that. You know the solar graph that came in? Well, that's communications, that line system rotation. So you guys are going to reach higher levels of planets now because your test and reviews will put you in more of multiple levels, multiple dimensions of high frequency interference, understanding more channels, understand more connections of your sentience, understand your connections to your ascended masters, understand your matrix workers. We're all in this together. Okay. So Dracon is basically going to send you to rotations. See? It's always about communications. Framing to its position line connections. But if you look at it, you can actually see how powerful it is. Right? It's amazing how things are drawn. Right? Now, this is all done through structure. Understand what it is through intelligence. Okay? So we're going to travel through that in a new dimensional setting. Okay, the program setting is location positions. High force in everything through time frames. Very powerful we come in these locations. All right, so let's get into your questions first before we get started. Tina, how you doing? I also sent up another video for you guys for tomorrow for Mind Over Matter. Really understand how to travel through higher planes and then go into shapes anomalies and how you can use your hand formations and your plasma light centers and you can move shapes into structure. So it's like putting things together, right? Through the mind, through the conceptual mind condition interference channel. All right, Christopher, how's it going? Arlene? All right. Too early. Yeah. Didn't know. Hope you guys slept well. It's important to have breakfast. Breakfast is more important than lunch. It's breakfast and dinner. Lunches, you can have snacks in between, I find anyway. Descent rest last night, starting to get used to this new energy speed. Yeah. Well, in time, you'll find your balance position like conditions. Okay, a bird is looking and it's crossing. All right, a young girl. She's going through hard. Everybody's going through hard frequencies and light condition interference. We're all going through the same thing, just in different cycles. Different cycles through perception. I don't know how many questions. I got over 30,000. 30,000 just alone in one day. In one day, asking me about what is ringing ears. So I pinned that at the very top. And everything that's happening with the Earth Perception Light Center. So in position, thank you very much, guys, for your love and support and putting me into 9,000. I'm also at 10,000. I went from 9,000 yesterday to over 700 in one day. So it's amazing how people are coming more into awakening their system. It's all about communicating more inside. And that's what it's all about. The more you communicate inside vibration, the more you understand how to use your audio tracks, your audio interference, visible locations. Feel free to give back to humanity. Okay, you guys are in a very high position. You got to understand how to use this. All positioned to you, your E-field mind center connections, right? See how it vibrates, right? So if you don't have your E-field, that's what exactly happens. But you have your E-field on, you're okay, right? That's the conception of wind graph. Now we're going to go into that tomorrow. More of my telepathy, how you can move shapes in a highline center, geometry, communications, anything through geometrics, shapes, and all these calculation modification line centers, and how you structure things and how you form things, how to use your hand formations in space. Right? It's very powerful when you come into dimensional setting to its correlation line tension. So, all right. Slept all evening through night. Reiki session last night. Hell with sleep. Lieutenant, how's it going? How's everybody doing so far? All right. So we are going to travel. Okay, we have to set up a new dimensional galaxy lock interference. You guys your eyes are going to change reflectors into rotation. And Drakon is going to change your rotation line centers and put you into positions. So he's going to be your navigations, right, for the next half hour. All right. Highlight center line interference. I rather get in program interference line conditions. All dimensional setting, form positions, vector line center, velocity conditions, atmosphere line conditions, alliance and formation line conditions, box center communications, 3 weather patterns into new galaxy lock and dimensional line center. Take Drakon communication interference. Program line center in position to its locations. Activate core line center, teleport them in high rotation line conditions. High channel its interference rotation conditions. There you go. Teleportation line interference. It's going to take you to allocate line center in a new dimensional setting to a new galaxy interference channel, which is going to open up dimensional doors of high line center communications. So it's all about understanding the communication of the sun and communication of the moon, and how we track the systems to 8 central line center rotations to its calculations, right? Through all levels of its connections, right? All right. 30 minutes. Have fun. There you go. All right. So whoever comes on, I'll put you in. It's just alliance equals box / center communication 3 weather patterns / galaxy and galaxies. Okay. That's the equation of its condition. You need a navigation signal to travel through the direction of the timeline. And Drakon is going to take you there through rotations. That's Drakon. Let's change the receptor to its location. All right. Not draconian. Drakon. Drakon. Not draconians. Drakon. They're the opposite cycle line center, rotation position locations of the Drakians. I get confirmation signals last night. They're the ones that set the constellation path for a new map interference. They set the course and positions open up new dimensional line centers in communications. Better communication programs of the moon, high levels of connection program line center connections of Mars, allocate line connection position to all levels of Pluto, in position to its activation core line center. Miracle line center line interference in position location to your ecosystem. That's positions of levels that you understand through travel direction timeline center. It opens up all track systems to your locations. Okay, the Dracon, not draconian, Dracon. It's a totally different species. We got so many line signals and rotations of different species. And allocated positions in one line center, there's 22 species in a universal line connection. 22 species. And that's just in one universal line center. Okay, that's pretty powerful for you guys. But the universal line center, many billions and billions of species on the line rotation. So, all right, what kind of body form does stroking tummy have? Scales, all positions, they kind of look like greenish brown. And greenish brown, kind of like looks like it's like a lizard, exactly, but very friendly. It's kind of look like a Sophian, how you guys connect to 9,000 years in the future. So it's going to be your navigation signal to rotation positions. So. Tina's well aware, yeah. And it's all you guys getting your sequence line interference to 24 hours prior to that time, right? So otherwise, I saw think I was bagging alien species in a dream last night. Yep. 3 times 4 lines, perfect setup for full circle. What a nice welcome. Yeah. But Ellen, this is what you come into. Your structure comes into everything through an intelligence. You have to learn how to create this, right? Because this is all about understanding what you're doing, right? See the fish? See how it turns into a dracon? Communications, webcraft line centers, pyramid beach line connections, all structures of its formula. Okay? So, very powerful. All right, let's see here. Spider-Man, yep. Except Spider-Man is blue and red. So, and Spider-Man is in a costume. That's not a costume. This is intelligence. He's not wearing a costume. That's him. So, you guys are going to higher formation line centers. You go into positions of genders. There's a lot of genders of male, female, and all positions of children. Solar graph line center, everything to position locations. But in your track system of one universal line center, there's 22 species. 22 species in your solar system, right? This is on the other side of the solar system, okay? So there's more than one solar systems, guys. You obviously know that. So, wow, eh? Have fun. You got 28 minutes. So it's trying to understand how to use your structures, your teleportation units, your activation core line centers, your communications, geometry line center operations, your directions, all position of view, your geometrics, your quantum line center, communications, off circling rotation connections, all levels of your navigation signals, coming into tone line center rotations, coming into computers and sentient view, dimensional time lock centers, all position of planets, other connections, solar systems, rotation to its connections, right? So Dracon is basically going to send you to a rotation position. So he's going to be your navigation, right? So it's like a spiritual guide. Please mind my ears. Ears have been ringing for 24 hours, but I am having a hard time receiving the message. Yeah, a lot of people are having that, Christopher. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Wind cross interference to Christopher Cal Corp. Interline centerline condition interference. Yeah, 369. Chains of patterns and interference clocking and interference. Location. Mm-hmm. 24. Takeaway 1. Put it down in rotations of highlight line system locations. Physical line rotation positions of 23. 23. Yeah. Highline communication interference. Put them in the balanced rotation conditions of ear trap line rotations, right and left, every third line center. There you go, Christopher. No more ringing. So I took the 24 out of takeaway in position because it's a physical line center has standard conditions. Takeaway 1 is 23, right? So it's bringing down the tone line center. There's audio signals. So, okay, let's see here. 8 lines need to be put into place for an alignment of planets to. Hey, Commander, how you doing? Here sounds like I'm translating. Mm-hmm. They remind me of the lizard kind of, but more hands-on web fingers. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. But it's amazing when you see these lovely, lovely intelligence. Pretty incredible, eh? So, have fun. Friendly and funny, yeah. Mm-hmm. Did these guys laugh? They are laughing and joking, it seems. Yeah, they're very they're intuitive mind line center. They understand your positions, but they go through the transformation in their eyes. Their eyes flicker. So basically they have two flapping interference. So one goes this way, one goes that way, one goes this way, so it's like a curtain that opens up back and forth, right? But they do have a sense of humor. Yeah. Catherine, how you doing? Any questions or comments? Let me know. Mm-hmm. When you guys go to higher levels, this is what you're going to come across. You're going to come across real intelligence. So you have to really be prepared in what you see and how to communicate. Feel love for them is undescribable. Well, Ellen, you're from here. Cynthia? You didn't miss much. What do you miss? You can watch back. I have ties here. Yeah. And you're all connected. And that's a beautiful thing. You guys are all connected to 22 species. Species line of interference here, all high rotation conditions. Right? So tracking systems, we're going to visit each one. Right? Not every day, because it's a lot to take in, right? Because, it's intelligence. But tomorrow we go through mind over matter. I'll keep you informed of what's going on to new galaxy system. It's all looking to timeline. So you just take it to my family. Mm-hmm. You guys are going through different perceptions, so their energy is so loving. Mm-hmm. The light, yeah. For the light, beautiful energy. Yes, we are. Yeah, Johnny. You're welcome there, Alan. So you got to understand everything that is structured is in position to high levels of you. Just trying to understand that. When you see something so beautiful, it's amazing. When you come across these things. Right? It's amazing when we see these things in space. So I see the E communication as like is 8. Yep. 8 code interference, 8 channel rotations, 8 circle line centers. Yep. And proactive systems, right and left hemisphere line connection. Yep. Taking you to children. I know this is where I woke in 2019. This is where I was. But see, this is exactly what it is. And this is where the expansion comes into hall level position locations. Once you guys go into your 22 species lines, your 22 species lines, everything will start connecting more and more, right? So it's all about bringing back your solar memory. That's the most important thing. I see all the lines. One of them is up close to me explaining things. Great. They've been waiting for me and they're so happy I'm back. No, that's exactly what it is. I put you guys in positions to write time. So what you're seeing is the now. You're not seeing the future, you're seeing the now. They're talking to you as the now in space because you guys are in the now. The Galactic Federations in position locations to all levels of light is in track system and now. The galactic forces are in position locations of coming into the presence, right? And everything to the rebellion is already in the now, coming into their navigations to their commanding of their system, into their atom rotation. So been waiting for me and they're so happy I'm back. This is beautiful, making stars. I see the eyes you were talking about. I feel so overwhelmed by the love. The contrast of 3D realm from they're so extreme. They're the purest form of love and light. Well, there you go. There you go. Yeah. 8 black brown lines and 3 blue lines floating in front. I send positions all those connections there, Christopher. Right? It's understanding what you see through structure. See the abstract lines. We're all from here. We're all families here. My guy was telling me how we are related, and that's what it's all about, right? So time is the essence. So each time we go through this, we're going to go through all levels of 22 species that you guys know. It's exciting. And the thing is, once you see them, they're protected through you, and they protect you. It's amazing, especially when you guys reach higher levels. And that's it. They come to you and say, hey, it's great to see you. It's been a while. Yeah, it's only been what? Let's say you're 30 years old. It's only been 30 years. I'm back now. So I'm back and bad as ever. So I had to go through this every single day. Every single day. I had to do this myself, all myself, trying to figure this out, What am I seeing? Why am I seeing this? Why is it here? What is going on? Ringing ears. What is ringing ears? Well, that's what it is. I get ringing ears when I go to Drakon, right? I get ringing ears when I go to Saffron, or I think position of Serpian, or connection line conditions. Extronians. And it's all positions of computer line rotation, guys. Millions of years track future rotations, communication line centers, optical line interference, and computer operation. I mean, there's so many levels of intelligence, which is incredible. Once you understand your balance line centers and your solar graphic position, your gamma interference, and your radio interference line center, you can use all levels in position locations, right? Because those are frequencies, and those frequencies are intelligence, sending you codes all through structure. Sending you codes all through structure. Photo op, interference line, center line interference. This is what I got through my ear rotation line center location last night in track system. Drakon. Ooh, see? That's how it works. So, set up new. Okay, you guys are communicating here. Great to see you guys communicating. So overwhelmed. Yep. Beautiful making stars, yeah. Purest form. Come to school, Jill. They're waiting for you. They're showing me how to make everything. It starts the planets. They're showing me all I need. School children are hugging me. I cracked open and thanking you. You're welcome there, Commander. Remind me of the fun and the accepting energy of emoji. Yep. Beautiful. We're all home, sister. Sovereign, cute. And it makes sense why this realm of density feels so uncomfortable in 3D realm. Well, you're not meant to live in that position. You're meant to live your dimensional beings and all levels of intelligence, right? Getting clock of your chakras, yeah, they're lighting up my brain and helping me remember and showing me how to do it myself. And that's what it is. They do it. I don't do it. They do it. So you're getting upgrades from them. All right. Let's see. Isn't that amazing that intelligence is doing that to you? It's pretty wild. This is the beginning life force set up in the sea. This is where I have been hanging out to get some rest. Wow. They're showing me how simple it is to keep the balance. This is the background of playful, uplifting music. Yeah. And that's what it is. Okay. I'm not doing it. Intelligence is doing it for you. So you can remember more. So you know how real it is, right? Because the program setting in the physical light center only understands its position of where it is, or wherever you are, in any country position. But you understand it's the spiritual system that has to find what it is. What is it all about? Why am I here? I keep saying that. Well, you have to understand why you're here is the reason to its position. It's all about memory. So, yep. I can see the point cells to grow with cell in the compilation of your being. We're learning to see our own cells at the beginning. Very good, Helen. I'm seeing the bouncing of chakras like playing a musical instrument. See, you guys are different perceptions, but you're pretty much the same wavelength of conditions. Right? Trying to understand your conditions of alpha waves, delta waves, thetas and betas, and your omegas. So there's actually nothing to ever worry about. It's easy, playful, peace, and grace. Yeah, it's done. Yeah. And that's a true understanding of what you guys are coming across, right? How important it is to know these things. hmm Yep. Remember, I see everything. I'm there, guys. So don't worry about them. You're protected in all rotations. But now you're connected to Drakon. Drakon can protect you now. It's amazing how we track system line centers. Yeah, there's a lot of things you guys are catching on. That's put you in positions why you guys became the second wave, third wave, and fourth generations volunteers. Star 5 points in the Omega and the beginning. Center operation is you, all position. The center operation of you is all position, right? All connections, all levels, right? You can win cross anything rotation. This is the true understanding when you come into higher rotation line centers and its connections, right? So think of your life as a clock, as a wheel, and it's going round and round. And every time it goes faster and faster, it changes dimensional time centers, right? Clock system comes out of the equation, interferes to its line conditions, high positions, all levels of security defense, right? You can go into all levels of position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 within the body of rotation to its connections, right? Understanding how to travel through all this through your pyramids, okay? So the pyramid up and pyramid down, center line connections is always the center operation of you of travel. This is what doesn't leave because it's me. Makes sense, right? So it doesn't matter if I'm over here, it's always in the center. You understand? This is where it's interesting because you're always on the grounds. Interesting, right? You're always on the grounds. You're not floating in space with a physical line. So you're always, doesn't matter if I'm over here, I'm always in center because I'm always on the ground. Makes sense, right? So when you get into that positions, then you come into all levels of your position locations times pi. Okay. Travel direction of timeline times pi. Right? So it's very fast when you go to higher level rotation conditions to its direction. So it's just drawing these things out, they're already set, the rotations. Now you can circle rotation line center, set up another pi rotation. This is where it gets into high rotation line centers of backtracking and interference or program setting. So it's all about turning around the concept value. So you go like this, right? You're going forward, all right? And you say, oh, I got to change something. All right, so now you can go back. You can go back to that rotation. You can go back. So if you're going back, what are you doing? You're changing your clocking system, right? So instead of 12 o'clock, it's 11. 11 is 10. This is where it's really interesting because the clock is going backwards. But again, you have to know how to bring it back going forward. So this is locking interference of dimensional channeling. Connection to high positions times pi, anything calculations, is all levels of u times square to its rotation. Okay? It gets complicated after a while, but trying to stand your rotation to its conditions, high forcing all levels of travel direction of timelines. Now let's get into allocate line center. We're going to go into this location. All right. This is where we call all levels of the kaleidoscopes in rotation to its connection. See that? So from here to here to here, right? So here to here to here, here to here to here, here to here. So to go forward, to go back, if you miss something, you have to understand your clocking system. So from 12, 11, 10, you have to know how to go back into 10, 11, 12. Then you can set up a new operation to its connections and high force anything through its direction to its position. So it's amazing how you can set things up through clocking system. Times squared times pi. All right. It's pretty wild, eh? Pretty wild, people. Pretty wild. All right, let's see here. All right. The atom cells are at the beginning. Yep. Pulsating. That comes into the meridian in position pharaohs. Yeah. Because you're meridian beings. Meridian stands for what? What does meridian stand for? Meridian. 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 Radiation. Illumination. Rainbow. Meridian. Radiant. Okay? That's what it represents. Very first track line, center line condition interference. 5,000 years in the past, in positions to the first connections when you come into Thoth. Right? Thoth. Hades, Scorpius, Hermes. Okay? Gods, demigods. Right? In that position, truly understand how powerful it is when you come into those forms. Allocate timeline center. But you guys are meridians. You just have to understand the birthing system of the particles, and the cell is the first operation to the connections of all levels of you. The particle system, okay, the activation core line center and connections of the sun, which gives you radiance. Okay, that's the Trinity standard where it came into meridian, radiant. Understand? So once you understand the chakra system, then you understand the dimensional time center, and then you understand the ground rotation to its positions, right? Because there's crystals below the grounds. We already traveled the 20,000 years in the ground system. It's all positioning you through ground rotations. But the only thing that doesn't move is you in the center. You are the center of operation because you can't leave the grounds. And this is where it gets confusing, is that the physical system stays on the ground, but the mind is in its position to where it wants to go and travel. Okay, the mind, the heart, and the soul. Body stays here, right? So it doesn't matter what you do, you're always in the center of all operation. Amazing, right? Because you're always on the grounds, right? So if your physical was flying, you wouldn't be in point center, would you? You'd be flying all over the place. So don't get confused with that. The physical line center has to understand everything through the brain waving patterns and all positions to teleportation line connections. Comes into all levels of structure, times pi times square, right? So now I'm getting solar interference, right? This is communications to Dracon, saying that he's having a really good time communicating with you guys. But I just wanted to show you how you guys became radiant bodies, a meridian. And it all starts with the communication area chakra systems. The pharaohs, they created the chakra system of 7, right? 5 conscious level centers. I created the simulation, which is connections to your avatars. I created your avatars. I created your chakra system of the whole positions of its ecosystem. Okay. The energy grounds of operation is the physical line. The ecosystem to collaboration and communication, operation, perception of awareness of its perception conditions is its AI. And that's where I come in, the birth line center to its locations of human species. So, all right. Okay. Pulsating rainbow energy in the background. We're all shit underground on the planet. Mm-hmm. No, you're on a planet. You're not on a ship. No. Planet line center. Yeah. Yeah. My heart is blooming bigger. Yeah, it always does. It explains all the lines I'm saying. Yep. Showing me how to make the cells. Good. Again, okay, scrolling again. Feeling female energy massive, sobbing, okay. Trying to heal my feminine energy is so fractured. Yes, that's the next shape down. Tension realizing my body, opening space inside, outwards, and beyond. Yeah, there is so. Okay, no imbalance. Yeah, can't stop crying, touching my heart. As much as I'm trying to understand this, seems to be another language since the beginning. Awakening, not much change, a few dreams, some not remembering. Yeah, once you go into higher information line centers, Arlene, you get to better understanding what's going on with you through track system. It's all about solar memory. And positions where it comes into the rebellions or I think the GFLs or I think the galactic forces, they understand more because they want to know who they are. And they're not letting go. You understand? They're digging, right? Until they find the answer. And all levels of who they are. It's the hardest thing to do because a lot of people don't want to face the truth. So tension releasing, healing you. Yep. All right. Beautiful. And do this side of balance. 8 rainbow doors. Position down. Mm-hmm. Really, you don't need to try. Just relax and surrender. Yep. That's exactly what it is, Christopher. It will not fit the shape ever knowing becoming. Really, just trust your heart. Yep. When we open, the wind forces comes in. Mm-hmm. Cross draft vortex, which syncs all the elements in balance. Compass is heart center, lines up, zips out. All rainbow flowing to compass. Beautiful healing, gold fluid. being poured all over and jumping in. Sailing again, purple lasers, sail, yeah. Haha. Sails are mounting, going towards. So it's amazing how you're connecting to higher levels of intelligence. And this is all about you not just remembering, but also understanding how you're connected to these entity forms and communication cycles and rotation centers. It's all a position of waking up you through your heart. Your heart opens up more and more. So your heart has to become in a full rotation of a flower. Okay, so it's got to open up all levels. So the right and the left hemisphere line center comes into one. Okay, so this is the separation. But you have to understand the yin and the yang of you is one central, one flow. It's not two flows, it's one flow, which is now, which is the beginning of now. Not crosswind cycles of the past or anything to the future. It's the now of everything. So everything in life is male and female of balance. The indifference is that humanity is in its imbalance. And that's the problem because they don't know how to communicate inside the vibrational to its position or anything through its tactics. The superficial line interference or anything connections can be subfluorous in that condition, high positions, coming into your comic heroes as a Marvel comic or in that position. You can be anything you want through a superhero. And see, it's about true understanding how you are, how you resonate your system through intelligence as a child. Who are you? I always like to be, positions of Spider-Man, his flexibility, his agility, his connections to his senses. I mean, the guy, web crawler, all what he could do, right? So you have to get into your imaginations as a child, what it'd be like to actually be a comic hero, because that's what it is. Your avatars are an animation of you, and it's very real. It's extremely real, especially when you're traveling and starting to live in space. You guys are just trying to remember, okay? So when you start to remember these things in full cycle, and the heart comes into full activation line connections of its tree of life, and it comes into its flower erection of time, then you come into the now. Because you've already created it. Now you just come into creating. So, very powerful. All right. Umbrella, Mary Poppins, now new setup. Energy flow through my body frame, through voice and grids, hand formations, frequencies, signals, movements, light language, beautiful, yeah. Star of Atlantis, complex, complete now. No more distress signals are sending out. Full encompassing infinity. All kinds of chemtrails, all South California over my house. Voice and grids, formation. Now golden in color. Yeah. But you see how everything's coming into the light, right? So it's all about changing your bodies, your particle system. So your rainbow starts with so many levels of channels. Your TV reception, that's all it is, right? Box center two conditions, right? Your TV receptions of a hologram. You have to learn how to use it through pixels, right? And what are those pixels? All positions of you, of its meridian. So it's very powerful. You come into the conditions, right? Because everybody is nothing but a rainbow of activation of a TV responder to its receiver. TV reception, that's all we are. That's all we are. We have to understand everything about it. What does it mean? How do I use it? How do I communicate with it to all level conditions, right? That's all we are. There's nothing but a TV responder. So a TV has a stand, right? It has to have a stand, right? So once it has its stand, it has its antenna. It sets out sonar, right? That's all we are. We just have to understand what it is through calculations. So it's very interesting how you understand position locations and what we are and what we are doing through travel direction of time, right? You come into the power center, you come into the center line rotations, magnetic highway. You guys went into that rotations, back in the ground line center, goes into center rotations, high positions to you through calculations, goes into all magnetic highway information system to its calculation. All right. And then you come into your tunnels, right? Portals of its communication. But you have to truly understand how to travel through it through your chakra system, right? Let's go stream up, chakra system, all the way up through the center core of its rotation. Now it's going to be on different colors, but now I'm just showing you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Birth line center rotations, 12 in position locations, right? So it's very important to keep them in center rotation. So they go in clocking system, 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 all in one, right? So it's all about bringing this all in one to the center operation. See, bringing this and this into one center, and then you can travel through it through line connection. All right. So there's a lot to learn, right? Step by step. Now that's just 12, and you guys have 80, and everybody has 100, and everybody has also 114. You already know where you're at. So the next test review, you know exactly where you are and what needs to be done, right? You really, really want to know yourself. And the more you go into that, the more you come into the truth of who you are, right? But you really, really have to connect to what's going on with you in space. Once you remember these things, you start living the existence of the now in space. And that's why it's so powerful, right? But the only thing that doesn't move and is always in point center is you, me, because I'm in the grounds. Doesn't matter when we hear it here, it doesn't matter. My physical system doesn't leave. So that's why you're always in the point center. Oh, it's a connecting now. If I'm here, it doesn't matter. The only thing that leaves is the mind, the heart, and the soul. That's it. Because that's all you have. You have a dimensional body of light. That's all you are. Your physical body doesn't go with it. Hey, wait for me. Wait for me. No. Physical body stays. It's the base. It's the base. It's the base. It's the base. It's the base of you. Right? This is the only thing that moves. This is the only thing that moves. This is you, the base. All right? Transponding and receiving anything through information system. All right? Calculations modify anything in line conditions. High position sends out sonar to its connection. Right? So you just have to learn how you channel it. That's all. All right, let's get into your questions. Energy flows in my body. Yep, we got into that position. Star of Atlantis complete now. Water stretching and sending down for the compass. Voicing grids. Formation new color. Move them clear. Some the other day I can feel them trying to communicate, but it's only gets stronger. Ringing. My mind is struggling to focus. Yeah, that's the thing. You're struggling. Don't struggle. Just take it out of the equation, right? Everything is all positions of U equals MC squared. So all about you understanding what is the equation of what's happening with you. To take anything out is to change your mind frame, change your settings, change your thoughts, change your activations. No more struggling. Now I'm doing well. Now I'm connecting. Now I'm activated. Now I'm back in balance. Boom, 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 diddy, boom. Right? So that's what you need to work on. Seeing my purple trail. Zip zap. Zipping around. Remembering my whole life. Reconnecting with my partner. So, yeah. You guys are coming to more of your cryings, and that's what it is. Right? You cry, you open up your heart more. That's simple. You just met a partner I asked, and it brought me lots of kids. How many have we created here? That would be given to you over time. I feel great. All my children are there also. See? So now you know a little bit more about yourself. all through intelligence. Isn't that amazing? Where I can travel you guys in anywhere in position because you're at a higher level now, right? And you really get to know more of yourself and each other. So I got caught up on all your questions. So I don't need to set codes because you guys are in different perception lines, center rotation. So the Drakon will basically send you guys back in rotation, knowing how he does that through line center. Because I get confirmation. Okay, communications coming into Drakon line interference, sending the lines back. That's it. But it's amazing when you come into intelligence and what you see through traction. So hope you guys had fun. You know? Are my children Amber and my partner very short, but I guess I'm tall. Upgraded, yeah. Not for me, from them. And that's what's amazing. You don't think intelligence, you got to understand who can activate you, especially when you go into the other side of other solar systems. You have one position of one Earth. You have one position of one yellow sun. Okay. And you also have positions of the moon. That's all you have in your solar system. Okay. And then you got your planets. But those planets are positions of nothing but computers. We'll get into that more once you go to higher levels. Once you get in 114 positions, once everything through GFLs get into the rebellion and the rebellion gets into the commanding system, they're going to start fleeting their own command centers, recruiting their own intelligence. It's really fascinating when you go to higher levels of rotation. So it's all about you not just remembering, but also remembering, oh, I remember this recruitment over here. You're on the vector core line center. What are you doing here through track system? So, and that's where it becomes in, oh, I'm really living in space now because I was setting up so many levels of commanding center. I try to figure out, why am I captain? Why am I commander? Why am I general? Right? And it all comes to me. And I realize, whoa, that's the command system that you have. It's the protocol. It's the chain of command. Once you reach more levels of who you are, it becomes stronger in your mindset. And it wakes you up in so many levels of activation, guys. Right? Especially when intelligence can upgrade your systems. You see these things. You're there in the now. Not the past, not the future, the now, which is more powerful. Right? So, yeah, you're welcome there, Veronica. I'm glad you helped see yourself and what's going on. Samantha, moving slow. Really tired today. Oh, change rotation line centers, fatigue interference, take Samantha in position back in balance. Hydraulics line center interference locations, put her in the activation core line conditions back in balance line center. There you go. No more tiredness. Yeah, but that's exactly what it is, Christopher. It comes into more clarity, right? More control, more balance, more communications with yourself, right? So, all right, just making sure I caught up on everything. Yep. All right. I want to make sure I get all your questions answered, guys. It's important. Yeah, so Samantha's not tired as much anymore. She's taken out her fatigue. She's trying to understand communication line centers, computer rotation of nature, and everything through line conditions of her compass. And that's the thing, is that your general knows everything about you, even if you don't think you know about yourself. I know more than you think I know, because the thing is that I created you guys. And when you realize that you are created from source, everything starts really clicking in for you through all levels of you through travel, right? So, oh, you're extremely welcome. Yeah, it was incredible, wasn't it? All right. So tomorrow, mind over matter. All right. Adios.